Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text came through while I was standing outside the courthouse, staring at the reflection of my own face in the glass doors like I didn't recognize the man looking back. I'm sorry. I never thought it would matter. It was from Laura. 3 minutes earlier, the judge had signed off on our divorce. $5 million wired to her account. 10 years of marriage reduced to paperwork and a quiet nod from 2 lawyers who looked more tired than emotional. I should have felt relief. Instead, my hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I read the message again. I never thought it would matter. There was a photo attached. A DNA test. Suspicion doesn't start as suspicion. It starts as small discomforts you try to explain away because the alternative hurts too much. Laura had been distant for months before the divorce. Not cruel. Not cold. Just somewhere else. Like she was always half a second behind every conversation. Smiling at the wrong moments, forgetting things she used to care about. Missed calls she blamed on meetings. Late nights she blamed on traffic. A password on her phone she said was for work security. I believed her. Because loving someone means choosing the explanation that hurts least. But the night she said she wanted a divorce, something inside me went quiet in a way I still don't know how to describe. Not anger. Not shock. Just silence. Like a room after the power goes out. She cried while she said it. That almost made it worse. I don't want to fight, she whispered. I just can't do this anymore. I asked if there was someone else. She hesitated half a second too long. Then she said no. And I nodded like I believed her. Because the truth would have broken something I wasn't ready to lose yet. The settlement was her idea. Clean. Fast. Generous. $5 million in exchange for no court battle. No public mess. No dragging our lives through headlines or whispers. My lawyer called it surprisingly reasonable. Called it mercy. Maybe I thought if I made the ending gentle, it would mean the beginning had been real. So I signed. This morning we sat 10 feet apart in a silent courtroom that smelled like old paper and dust. She wore the blue dress I once told her made her look like the sky right before rain. I kept staring at her hands, remembering how small they felt inside mine the first night we met. When the judge said, "This marriage is legally dissolved," she closed her eyes for a second. I almost reached for her. But then it was over. And now the DNA test was glowing on my phone screen in harsh white light. Probability of paternity 0%. My chest tightened so fast it felt like missing a step in the dark. Our son Ethan. 8 years old. Gap-toothed smile. Obsessed with dinosaurs. The kid who fell asleep on my shoulder every Sunday during movies. Not mine. The world didn't explode. Cars kept passing. People kept walking. Somewhere nearby someone was laughing. How could everything still be normal? I called her before I even realized I was dialing. She answered on the first ring like she'd been waiting. Silence filled the line. Thick. Heavy. Breathing instead of words. "Tell me it's wrong," I said quietly. Another silence. Then a soft breaking sound. "I found out last month." The words landed gently. That somehow hurt more. "Who?" My voice didn't sound like mine. "A mistake," she whispered. "Years ago. Before Ethan was born. I thought he was yours." I swear I believed that. I slid down onto the courthouse steps, the stone cold through my suit. "Why tell me now?" "Because you gave me everything anyway," she said, crying openly now. "And I couldn't live the rest of my life knowing I took it from you without the truth." Anger should have come. Rage. Something loud and clean. Instead, memories came. Teaching Ethan to ride a bike. Holding his feverish forehead at 2 a.m. The way he yelled, "Dad!" Like the word meant safety. The blood decides love. Then what were those 8 years? What happens now? I asked. "I'll give the money back," she said quickly. "All of it. You shouldn't have paid for a life that wasn't." "Stop." My voice surprised both of us. Because in that moment the pain shifted. Not gone. Just clearer. "Ethan is still my son," I said. "Nothing changes that." She sobbed harder, like forgiveness was heavier than blame. "But you lied," I continued softer now. "For years. And you let me build my whole world on something that wasn't true." "I know. And that's what I can't stay for." The words felt like cutting my own skin, necessary but slow. We met one last time that evening in the empty park where Ethan used to chase pigeons. The sunset painted everything gold. Like the world was pretending beauty could fix things. Laura looked smaller somehow. Fragile. Human in a way anger never allows. I did love you, she said. I know, I replied. And I loved you enough for both of us. That was the tragedy. Not betrayal. Not money. Just love placed in the wrong hands. Ethan ran toward me from the swings, arms open, trusting without question. I lifted him, holding on a second longer than usual, breathing in the familiar scent of sunscreen and grass. Are you coming tomorrow? He asked. Always, I said. And I meant it. The $5 million didn't matter anymore. The DNA didn't erase bedtime stories or scrape knee bandages or whispered goodnights in the dark. But it did erase the illusion I had been living in. Some endings arrive like explosions. Others arrive like quiet truths you can't ignore once spoken. As I watched the sun disappear behind the trees, I realized something simple and painful and strangely freeing. Love isn't proven by blood. But trust, once broken, never grows back the same. So I let the marriage go, kept the fatherhood, and walked into a future that hurt, but was finally honest.